Hello, my name is Ellen Blanchard, and I am running for the open seat on the Board of Assessors. As many of you know, I retired from the town of Carver as your Director of Assessing in September of 2016. I have almost 25 years' experience in the assessing profession, the last nearly 15 years in Carver. Prior to that, I worked for the towns of Plymouth and Bourne. I have been on the State Education Committee and am the immediate past president of the Massachusetts Association of Assessing Officers. I have taught most of the courses provided to assessors to receive accreditation in the profession. The reason I want to be on the Carver Board of Assessors is because I really enjoy the work of an assessor. For me, assessing was rewarding, particularly when I formed great relationships with you, the townspeople, and the actual work that I was required to do. Thank you for the support that you gave me as your Director of Assessing and for allowing me to serve you again.
Hello, I'm Ron Clark, and I'm running for re-election for the Carver Board of Selectmen. The past 3 years have been very productive for the board, and I'm proud to have been part of it. The board has worked together very well, identifying the town's challenges and needs, and working to find resolutions that are in the town's best interest and continue to make Carver a great place to live and raise a family. Some of the accomplishments of the past 3 years are our new Carver Elementary School. After past failures, the construction of a new elementary school has begun, the project passing with almost 80% of the vote. The board played a crucial role in lowering the tax impact to the average homeowner to build the school. These efforts reduced the amount by nearly 1/3 of what had been advertised at the time of the vote. The new Central Fire Station and training facility. The completion of the new state-of-the-art Central Fire Station and training facility was brought in under budget with no additional costs passed on to residents. We negotiated and extended the contracts of our fire chief and police chief, both of whom provide exemplary leadership to their departments and to the citizens of Carver. Our careful fiscal management. We follow rigid financial policies governing town expenditures and priorities, which has led our independent auditor to indicate that Carver stands above its peers as a direct result of those policy positions. We are working hand in hand with the school department, addressing budget challenges and offering assistance and solutions in working to resolve short and long-term concerns. The board knows that one of our most important responsibilities is providing a quality education to our children, and we are dedicated to working with the school committee to do and accomplish that mission. Unfunded health insurance concerns. Should be noted that this is not a Carver issue only. Every town and city in the state has the same problem. The board began addressing our long-term unfunded health insurance liabilities for retired employees by joining the Plymouth County OPEB Trust Program and making annual contributions to begin to pay down that obligation, as well as getting home rule legislation passed that, beginning in 2025, will reduce the town's contribution for retiree health insurance from 75% to 50%. The board felt the 10-year buffer was needed so that those currently in the retirement pipeline had time to prepare for the reimbursement change. With other policies in place, the board believes that Carver is now ahead of the curve in addressing this issue. Reorganized town departments and saved money. By combining positions and restructuring management, this policy is accompanied by a continuing effort to partner with our neighboring towns to explore regionalizing services with the same goal and purpose in order to save money on duplicate jobs. This list represents just part of the issues and challenges the board has been involved with over the past 3 years. In making the decision to run for another term, there were several initiatives I wanted to continue to work with and see to resolution, which I believe will help ensure a bright future for Carver. Among them, the 44 Development Project. On the outskirts of town are 300 acres of a contaminated industrial zone that could be the revenue answer the town needs. Recently, a developer has stepped up with a proposal to develop that property, and the Carver Board of Selectmen voted to support his efforts in purchasing the entire property for the purpose of creating an independent industrial development that could possibly generate anywhere from $3 to $5 million of new commercial tax revenue to the town in the not-too-distant future. The board needs to continue to support this development. Carver's a cranberry town, but the price of cranberries today is not what it once was, and the town needs to find alternative sources of revenue to meet our financial needs. We cannot continue to depend on raising taxes on homeowners to meet our financial objectives. Given the uniqueness of this location, this could be the only opportunity we ever have to gain this support, this sort of commercial tax revenue, without destroying the rural character of the town, which virtually all citizens want preserved. The board must continue to support and assist with this development as it goes through the designated process. Upon its completion, the increased tax revenue allows endless possibilities for the entire town of Carver. We want Carver to be a town that young families can afford, and revenue increasing measures can only help that happen. A new police station. Beginning the next phase of our capital plan is to build a new police station, again, to be built with no additional tax burden on the homeowner because of our fiscal policy establishing the financial structure that allows us to do so. In the tragic background of the opioid crisis in our small town, I want to continue to support our police as we work through this national issue. Recently, our police department made a series of arrests of drug dealers in our community. I believe we need to reach full staffing in our police force and provide them with the necessary tools to continue to fight this epidemic. A new senior center and tax relief for seniors. A much needed and modernized senior center is on the capital phase plan to be built, again, at no additional burden to the taxpayer. Careful planning, years in advance, as well as being conscious of the needs and desires of our citizens, will achieve these goals. To promote relief to seniors who want to live in their own homes for their entire lives, but may not be able to pay their taxes because their income is not sufficient to meet their tax bill, we need to pass legislation that will help those seniors stay in their homes by relieving them of some of that tax burden. Increased commercial revenue could be used in such a program to offset the relief offered to our seniors and allow them to stay in Carver. For more information on these and other issues, please see my Facebook page. The town of Carver has come a long way. Edaville Railroad, Thomas Land have now become a destination site from around the world, along with King Richard's Fair and our Cranberry Harvest festivals. Hopefully, with an industrial development on the outskirts of town that can provide significant relief to our taxpayers, Carver is becoming an attractive town for new homeowners while providing a wonderful environment to live and raise a family. I would like to continue being part of working with all the facets of the town and this very effective board in moving Carver forward. It would be my honor to serve this community for another 3 years. I ask for your vote on April 22nd to the Carver Board of Selectmen. Thank you. I'm Ron Clark.
Hi, my name is Shay, and I am running for my first term on the Carver Board of Selectmen. For the past 14 years, I have lived on Plymouth Street in Carver with my beautiful and talented wife, Kim, and our 10-year-old son, CJ. We were drawn to Carver for the beautiful open spaces, rural and historic character of the town, and the warmth and character of the people here. We've seen many changes to this small rural and agricultural community over the past few years. We've seen good times and bad ones, but we always come together as friends and neighbors to support and help each other in times of need. It is this small town atmosphere of support and friendship I wish to continue and help foster in the years ahead. Over the past year, the larger differences in our political spectrum have created vast divisions in our community, and what I believe to be in a larger sense our family. Family is more than blood. It is acceptance and understanding, sacrifice and loyalty through good times and bad that keeps us together. It is difficult at times for us to recognize and respect the different views of our family as only adding to the whole of who we are as a community, but it is these differences that push us to be a better and stronger society. I am running to help ensure all views are respected and with that improve the quality of life for all the residents of the town of Carver, to foster openness and fairness in a local government that puts its citizens, especially those least able to care for themselves, first. To remind people the government is their voice and the citizens of Carver are the bedrock upon which our town stands. We need to establish long-term goals to ensure that the people of our town who have worked and given so much of themselves will have a continued future in Carver without fear or worry that what they have worked so hard for and invested so much in is not taken unfairly or unjustly for any reason. In order to do this, we must increase the commercial and industrial base in Carver in a manner that is consistent with our open space bylaws and master plan. It can be done in ways that do not further burden our residents. It is my belief that with targeted tax incentives, we can strengthen our commercial and industrial base, while at the same time establish more sustainable residential growth. We can balance out loopholes various entities are using to circumvent the town bylaws and get ahead of the curve for future development, while at the same time retaining the beautiful open spaces and historic nature of Carver. We need to rein in predatory development practices and short-term gains that have long-term negative consequences and establish a viable tax base that will not force people out of their homes due to rising taxes and increased costs or under the guise of urban development. The best way to avoid problems is to be proactive, heading off or finding solutions to issues before they become real trouble. Our goal needs to be the establishment of policies that encourage long-term sustainable growth and not quick fixes to just get us through another year or to the next paycheck. We need to establish a more robust capital outlay policy that will prevent any future tax overrides or levies that put us further behind. Policies that encourage families and residents to have a long-term vested interest in our community. Policies that bring our community together in these tumultuous times as more than strangers passing in the night, that embrace and champion our town as a larger family with common goals that will ensure a future for all who call Carver home. I am not Carver. You are not Carver. We together are Carver, and we need to work to establish a better relationship and partnership with our representatives on both the state and federal level. It is through these avenues we can address the challenges and concerns we face as a small agricultural community in the 21st century. Thank you for your time today, and for more information or any questions, please visit Vote Shay for Carver Selectmen on your Facebook page. Thank you again.
Hello, my name is Alan Dunham. 3 years ago, I came before this camera to ask for your support and vote as I ran for a seat on the Carver Board of Selectmen. I come before you again today to ask again for your support and votes as I run for re-election for that seat on the Board of Selectmen. 3 years ago, I pledged to fully support the building of a new elementary school for the children of Carver. Today, the steel is already erected, and this new school will open in September of 2018. I worked to make sure that the planning and funding would be a transparent process and to be as affordable as possible for you, the taxpayers of Carver. In fact, when the Elementary School Building Committee first came before the Board of Selectmen, and they presented us a cost of just over $400 a year for the average home, I asked the committee to go back and sharpen their pencils to try to get the cost down. To their credit, the building committee did just that. I also fully supported the use of $100,000 of taxes from a commercial solar project to help lessen the burden on the residential taxpayers in paying for the new school. I also ran pledging to bring civility back to the Board of Selectmen and have a board that would work together to move Carver forward and to do what was in the best interest of the entire town. Prior to my coming on the board, it always seemed to me that the members of the board were working against each other, trying to, one side versus another, and not working together. They weren't working as a team. So I voted for and fully supported the Code of Conduct for the Board of Selectmen. This code has been voted on each year as a new board is reorganized after town elections. Some of the staples of this code called for to work together. And also you can have discussions and debates because not everybody's going to have the same ideas and feelings. But you can have those discussions and still be respectful. And that's a key word, being respectful of each other. Also, Part of the code is once the board makes a vote, that is the vote of the board. Even if the vote didn't go your way, you go ahead and support the board, you support the vote that was made by the Board of Selectmen. One of my first votes as a member of the Board of Selectmen, and perhaps the most far-reaching, was in support of the Board of Selectmen financial policies. We then brought these policies to the floor of town meeting in 2014 to see if the town would adopt them as the town's financial policies. I am very happy that the town did vote in favor of these financial policies. These policies established a capital stabilization fund. By placing money in that fund every year, we are able to fund building projects to replace old buildings and outdated facilities, to replace and upgrade all the facilities within the town, but within the tax limit, thus avoiding the need to go to the taxpayers and request an override on Proposition 2.5. The policies also stated that one-time monies, such as free cash and personal property taxes, would go to one-time expenses and not be used for recurring operational budgets. By following these policies, the town has been able to build a new fire station and will be able to build a new police station and a facility for our seniors, all within the tax levy limit. And we'll be able to accomplish these things without going before the taxpayers and asking for that Prop 2.5 override. Also, by following these policies, we've been able to get very good rates on borrowing. In fact, we were able to save the taxpayers $9 million on the financing of the new elementary school. I have been and will continue to be a very strong supporter of these policies, and I will strongly resist any attempt to deviate from the policies and thus our ability to continue to get the very favorable rates in borrowing. A couple of other accomplishments in the past 3 years was increasing the budget for the police department in order to fund 2 new officer positions. This allowed the police chief to create a dedicated resource officer for the schools, which is for the children of Carver, as well as to have the resources to continue to fight the opioid crisis in the town of Carver. We have seen the reorganization of the inspections and financial departments in Town Hall for more efficient operations and to provide better services for you, the citizens, and to control costs. While we have made great progress in the past 3 years, there's still more work to be done. If you give me the opportunity to serve another 3 years as a member of the Board of Selectmen, I pledge to continue to fully support and follow the town's financial policies and work towards improving our bond rating even more. To work towards fully supporting the building of a new police station for our police department, as well as a new facility for the seniors. To work, and where possible, facilitate commercial development in our green business district to increase the tax base of the town to lessen the burden on the homeowners. I will continue to support and search out ways to lessen the tax burden for our seniors. I will continue to base all of my decisions on what is best for all of the people in town, not just this small group or that small group, not for the loudest, but what is best for all the residents in Carver. Again, my name is Alan Dunham, and I am asking for your support and vote for Selectmen on Election Day, April 22nd. Thank you very much.
Hello residents of Carver, my name is Erik Behler. I'm running for re-election for the Carver Board of Health 2017 through 2020. A little background history on myself. Me and my wife, Jennifer, established our family here in Carver in 1999. In that time, we've brought up 4 children who are all currently attending all the Carver schools in town. Great school system. My political background began in 2005 when I was elected to join the Zoning Board of Appeals, which I am currently still a member. 2013 is when I became part of the Board of Health. I was appointed due to a vacant position. In 2014, I ran for re-election through the 2014-2017 year, and currently I'm running for re-election again. Background on myself, I've been involved with the water and wastewater industry since 1999. I'm currently still water treatment specialist. I do inspections. I've done septic system installations, backflow testing, anything from drinking water to wastewater, which is a primary concern for the town of Carver, where we are all on well systems and sitting on the largest aquifer in the state. I'm always willing to lend an ear to anybody who has any questions or give any insight that I might have to offer, especially with my experience in the wastewater and water industry or anything to do with the Board of Health. So I'm always available. If you need to contact me, my email is efmueller, M-U-E-L-L-E-R, @gmail.com. Give me an email. I'll be happy to get back to you with any specific questions you might have, and then reach out to me and move forward. Again, Erik Behler, running for re-election, Carver Board of Health for 2017 through 2020. Thank you.